in a way that required more discussion and involvement, and what all we really wanted to show here is, and it's not really the most successful bit of the episode, in fact I'd almost argue it's one of the least successful bits of the episode. It's just Mark's going mental here, so that when he I think almost all of these rather big set pieces for me are kind of good setup for the line when Mark says something like, oh, I'm not feeling that well, that's the sort of payoff to all of that.
Exactly.
So
awesome.
Colin Mace there doing great.
Brilliant. I mean, I think that works really successfily. I love all that, because I think this. We talk about how the episodes are written, how you guys write these brilliant episodes.
Yes.
But I remember sort of having a really early chat about that ways you could get out of a wedding, wasn't it? I think in the room we talked about
and just
getting run over, and I remember once shutting my arm in a door to try and get out of an exam, and things like injuring yourself. And that kind of
I think
stuff.
I associate the walking in front of the car with the discussion with you. Was it
I
something
think I might have tried to kill myself at one point. I don't know. Or at least thought about it.
Your life isn't terrible. It just seems that way.
It just seems that way. Thank you. It's Mum to listen to 7:09 on next Christmas. So it'll be.
This was a scene we had to reshoot because of the dreaded snow.
Oh, snow! Not again.
We were sweeping it off the roads at 7 a.m.
Were you?
Well, I wasn't. There weren't enough brooms. I wanted to.
Oh, there weren't enough brooms.
There weren't enough brooms.
You couldn't you go and buy one?
I couldn't. I could have done, but
hard to get hold of brooms as well.
But Robert Popper and the producer and Becky the director were sweeping away.
Were they?
Oh yeah.
And you were sitting in a warm.
I was in Burger King.
Okay.
Commiserating.
And you're a vegetarian, not?
Used to be.
That's
another story.
Okay, fine.
And so this is the scene that would have been Big Sue's in the lavatories. But we went with Soup Hands in the end. And although I think it probably would have been slightly funnier at this point, Soup Hands provides much more of a plot strand for us.
Yeah, and also it's a nice. I think what you did when you simplified that was Jeremy's focus is much more on Nancy, and I've been talking to Phil Clark about the idea that I feel. I don't know how you feel about this in this whole series. There's a sort of sadness about Jeremy because I feel like he's lost this great love. There's a sort of sense of like Nancy not being there or coming back, and I don't know. I feel like every other previous series I've thought to myself, I'm Mark. I'm definitely Mark. I'm totally Mark. I'm Mark. And in this series I thought, oh my god. Maybe I'm Jeremy a bit. Oh no, what if I'm Jeremy? And so I sort of, identify with Jeremy hugely in this whole series. And I've never have before.
Good.
What do you think about that?
I think that's great, and I think we feel like Mark and Jeremy are both our children, and we love both of them, and so I'm very glad that you felt like Jeremy. And I think he in that episode 1 we were watching earlier, when it was episode 1.
Yes,
on
episode 1. The commentary on episode 1.
Yeah, right. And in this one, I think they're both Jeremy's sympathetic in both of them.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy is basically a dick, but he's sympathetic.
He's an idiot.
He's a bit of a dick as well.
He's a bit of a dick.
It's the dickishness that I associate with myself, I think.
But
he looks like he's going to cry the whole time. That's what I love about it. It's the whole thing just feels like the whole series. Yeah. He's a bit. Even when he's about to have sex with Sophie's mum, it looks like he's about to cry again.
Yeah, I suppose. I think that's really Rob bringing a lot of humanitas to the character as well.
I think this scene, for what it's worth, is one of my favourites.
Yeah, no, this is fun.
The two of them together and where they end up, and
it's great having them together on a sort of road trip vibe. This episode, that's always a bonus when you get more of the guys together. Some of the weaker episodes probably when they're a bit further away, moved apart by plot.
Yeah, and so I guess that's one of the things we have to tackle, given that they are different people, different characters, is ways to keep them together in episodes, and probably the more successful episodes are the ones where it feels more organic.
There's a shared problem rather than just one hanging the other's coattails sort of thing.
Yeah. I think that's right. And out of interest, do you have particular favourites of episodes of this series, or?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not allowed to reveal them for legal reasons.
No, sure, I understand that.
We don't want to make. I do, but we don't want to make the other episodes feel inferior.
Do you want to make them feel bad? Sure.
Exactly.
Everyone picks on episode 2. That's my least favourite. Episode 2 is my least favourite, and episode 6 is my favourite.
I like 6. I like 5 a lot. The dog episode.
Yeah.
But
why I love this one is because although pretty massive things happen, I sort of pretty much buy everything that happens, and that's great. If you get that feeling, I think, in an episode.
Yeah.
Whereas other sort of ridiculous confections of things that have never happened to anyone.
Yeah.
Never would.
No, but you wrote it very. I have to say, I should apologise because I think I mentioned in a note that you should take out the line "I'm like a Casanova to this family" from Jeremy.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the final episode, you had taken it out, and sorry about that. I thought this would have been quite good if you left that.
Well, we didn't do that because you said so. We never do that.
Fine. Okay, I'm just throwing that out, but just throw that out there.
That was a little voiceover there. I'm like a Casanova. And my other favourite bit that we had to cut was a conversation where Mark. Where Jeremy suggests that they go to Venezuela and start a turkey farm.
Yeah.
Mark says, you've mentioned this before, why do you always want to go and start a turkey farm in Venezuela? And Chavez would just nationalise it anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a great bit, and I think when we look back at it, it was a cut offered up by Becky and Mark in the edit, and it was just you can watch a bit and go, you know what, that joke is funny, but it just doesn't fit. It slows you up.
Yeah.
And what do we think? Do we think that a snog is enough for a reason to call a wedding off?
Well, in reality,
would you? I'm asking you both here.
I'd say this scene pretty much gets it pretty straight. I think the snog is not enough, and a screw is probably enough.
Yeah.
I'd call off the wedding, wouldn't you? If you thought that on the morning of your wedding you found out that your
best friend had snogged.
You're some kind of prude.
Yeah, it turns out I am. Yeah.
I'd be annoyed. I mean, I'd make quite relentlessly bitchy comments the whole way through the speech, I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, that'd be
really
very
banging on about it.
Yeah.
Like you do the right thing, but actually make it the wrong thing by being
maybe you're right. Well, it depends on the whole situation. But I think what I would say about that is you're in a pretty fucked up relationship if that's what's going on.
A drunken snog happens every other week. In reality, doesn't it? Come on, we're in the EU now.
Maybe it's an interesting one. I think if you're in that kind of relationship, then you could let it go. But I think it's a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Where that's even in the ballpark.
Okay, kids. So there we go. That's what we need to know. The kids. That's a couple of bit of advice there from the Writers' Peep show.
Can you get pregnant from a blowjob? Is my next question.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Only if you're doing it really well, though. Or you got to be doing it properly. Richard Dawkins gets a nod here.
Yeah, well, we all love Dawkins, pissing on the church.
So this is, I think, from this moment in, from the church, it's just... I almost, I certainly don't want to talk because I've got not much to add, but I think that this is... You must be happy when something that you write that was so good and so funny comes together like this and it makes sense and they perform it brilliantly. And is the answer to that question just yes, or is there something you'd like to elaborate on?
Well, you were there more on this day filming this church.
Day, and we, the thing about shooting anything, as we all know, is that you can't really tell. You see it on the monitor the bit and you think, yes, that's definitely working, but there's still the thing of, will it all sort of cut together? Are you all having a massive fit of mutual delusion?
Yeah.
Are you still hungover? Are you watching the right monitor?
Yeah.
Kind of. So you never really know, but I remember watching this pissing stuff and particularly the conversation between them and thinking, I think we've caught the genie in the bottle or whatever, the lightning in the bottle, or the frog in the bottle.
Piss in the bottle.
Piss in the bottle, and it felt like it was good.
It was a good mixture of hopefully a good mixture of relatively characterful comedy and good broad pissing comedy.
Yeah. I think the pissing's brilliant 'cause I think it's so, it's sort of been set up, you don't expect it at all. But also it is brilliant about character. It's about that actually Jeremy does rely on Mark and actually he would rather abrogate responsibility in anything, even urinating.